Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Podcast. I'm Ben, that's Josh, and it is March. We are in March. We're recording this on the 3rd of March, which is wild to me that we're already we're already in March, man. March Madness is going to be here soon, which will be fun to do another bracket like we normally do. We had a mock draft last week. We're going to talk about some LB players this week. It's kind of one of those weird times where like sports kind of slowed down a little bit and now they're starting to ramp back up again, which again is just super exciting. Obviously, we're going to hear carry that all for you and talk about it. I got a request today from one of my British coaches that I coach with. He asked us to do a cricket preview of the World Cup that's this weekend, and I said probably the two wrong guys to be doing about a cricket World Cup. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, that's enough for me to talk about. But Josh, how are we doing? I know you were almost dying last week, so are you alive?
Yeah, it actually only got worse after our podcast. Went into work that Tuesday night, and then Wednesday night I was running a 101.5 fever.
Oh my,
Uh,
he was literally
fever,
dying.
si- yeah. After I worked those days, I slept about 12 to 13 hours one day, got up, and then was awake for about 6 hours and slept for another five. So that was a total of like 17 hours of sleep in 24 hours.
Whew.
Felt way better going into my shifts over the weekend. Energy is almost all the way back up. I'm just dealing with a lot of, I think I might have had a sinus infection. I was telling Ben before the show got started, and just fast forward the next 20 seconds if you get grossed out by things. But I'm getting rock solid blood and snot mixtures just plugging my airways. And every morning I'm waking up, it hasn't been because of my alarm. It's been because my body just starts mouth breathing because my nose just gets backed up. And then I go to the bathroom and shoot out like these dime-sized rocks of whatever concoction my body decided to make that day. And I'm like, man, this can't be good.
All I'll
So
say is Mama Bowden and Mama Burris are going to be very happy with this episode.
it's no offense to my mother. I've been trying to keep this on the down low because I don't need her worrying about me or telling me that I shouldn't go to work like this. But the way I look at it is I can lay down at home and make no money and be miserable, or I can go to work and be miserable and make money.
Hey,
Nothing's gonna change the way I feel.
it's like what I tell my students. Why are you guys missing 2 extra days of school when you are better and you're able to go back to school? That's what I
And
tell
that's
them.
how I feel.
You're making more work for yourself.
I feel like even at a quarter capacity, I'm still capable of doing my job and just as good as an employee as some people there still. So I
Hey,
just decided to go make my cash, and then I got some 2 days off to rest, and then I went into the weekend, felt more normal. Now I got today and tomorrow off to get even further, hopefully, rested and recovered. But like I told you guys, for richer, for poor, for sickness and health, I'm married to this game, and we're over here doing the Baseline podcast regardless.
yeah. And it's gonna be a fun one because we're breaking down a little bit of the combine reaction. I know Josh and I are very intrigued to kind of hear our thoughts because I think the media just blows up some of these these times or whatever. But let's start there, Josh. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think we should start with the very obvious one, and that's Sonny Styles. I'm interested to hear your thoughts with this because I think we even underrated what we knew he was really good. I think he was so outshined by the athleticism of Arvell Reese, by the complete player that Caleb Downs is, that I don't think we realized like if you put him on any other team, he's probably the best player in that conference because he has, so much more ability to show himself. But you said it even last week, he doesn't miss tackles. So I'm curious what you thought about his performance and how freakishly of a freak Ohio State had at both linebackers, and maybe they're becoming LBU. I don't know.
So many things that we could make this topic about, but just starting off with Sonny, who would have thought that a guy that came in recruited as a safety that played linebacker for the first time last year would not only grow into the size that he has been, but just be the absolute freak in nature that he was at the combine. I think we all can look at him and tell that, he's one bad man, and but also like you said, there's just other guys on this team that made him seem obviously like the third, maybe even fourth best defensive player on this team. If you want to throw Caden McDonald into that mix
Yeah.
too, but Yeah, the numbers they put up at the combine, I thought he would have a good combine. I didn't think that he'd have the record-setting combine that he did, though. Like they weren't
Yeah.
even comparing him to other
They're comparing it to
linebackers.
receivers.
They're comparing him to receivers and running backs and tight ends, and because it's like we can't even just use linebackers to show how good
A matchup
like of an
nightmare for
athlete
any
this guy is.
offense.
Yeah.
Matchup
So
nightmare.
Sonny Styles goes in, getting mocked around like, top 15, top 20-ish, I think. I had him 12th to Dallas.
Yeah.
There's no way that he gets past the 10th pick. And you could
I don't even
argue
know if
that
there's
he
no way
won't
he's
even
get
get
past the
past the
seventh
fifth.
pick. The seventh pick, even.
With the amount of teams in the top 10 that need defense, there's no way. Yeah. And we were talking about the teams like Washington that could use a pick on defense there. I mean, I know we don't need him, Ben, but could you imagine in Cleveland having Sonny Styles and Carson Schlesinger
Oh
as
my
our
goodness.
linebackers for the
Oh my
next decade?
goodness.
The next decade, those are our linebackers.
An
We don't know if
Ohio kid
JOK is going to be
too.
back. Yeah,
An
we don't
Ohio
know if
kid.
JOK will be back, but that was just the thought I had. And it's like, I know we don't need him. I know we don't need him. There's other needs. There's other things that are more important. But could you imagine if this was our linebacker
Oh.
duo the next decade? But Andrew Berry hates linebackers anyway, so it's never going to even be a possibility. But yeah,
Or the fact that he
there's
ran a 4.6 flat. This or yeah, it was no, it was 4.5. Was it 4.5, 4.6? I think it was 4.5.
I'll get the number. I thought it was faster than
Yeah.
that.
So, anyways, whatever he ran, him and Arvell Reese had the tied for the best for the linebackers and the edge guys. Um, dude,
Sonny Styles 4.46.
Arvell 4.46.
Did Arvell
Look,
run the? Yeah, Arvell
yeah,
ran the 40. I don't know
4.46.
why. I don't know why he's not showing up here.
I'll say this though, Josh, on my thoughts here. I have always thought Sonny Styles was a great player. I mean, I remember, I don't know if you've seen his basketball highlights. I mean, he probably could have played college basketball easily. I mean, he was freak. You know, he's 6'4", 6'5", can got bounce. Look, I think any team that gets him has got a plug and play piece for the next 15 years of his career. He's a guy that you will see for the, he's kind of like Swissinger for the Browns this year. A guy you're going to have it with Cleveland. As long as you sign him, you'll have him for 15 years. Um, I'll be interested to see, what teams think of him. But yeah, there's a lot of other freaks. You had Arvell Reese, who again, he showed his freakishness. I think the only thing that, the thing that for Arvell Reese is that he was inconsistent a little bit this year. But again, you can't teach size and speed and all that. I mean, heck, on my Bulldogs team, I'm wearing the hat right now. We have a 6'10" left tackle. And I told him, you need to just go to the States and be like any college, come there. They can't teach size, right? So there's that. And I'm also interested to hear your thoughts on, any of the other surprises from the combine. I really hate how the media, and this is not because I'm a Ohio State fan. I mean, generally, how their media is just ripping apart Carnell Tate because he ran a 4.58. I'm sorry, some of the best receivers ever ran like a 4.6. Like, he's not going to be a burner. He never was a burner. It's never been said that Carnell Tate's a burner. He's a finisher. He's not a burner. And so for me, the way they're like, oh, he's going to slip out of the top 10, I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then there's going to be a lot of teams that maybe don't need a receiver. They're going to be like, look, he's got the talent we should go grab him. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that and maybe some of the other surprise that maybe the media is overblown or has maybe kind of added to something that maybe is not quite there.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of guys we can talk about, but yeah, we'll just get with Tate. I think all this means is that Carnell Tate probably isn't going to go as high as fourth to Tennessee. Like that would have
No,
been
they
the
won't.
icing on the cake
Yeah.
as like a top five prospect. Like you got to remember, we got receivers like Marvin Harrison Jr., Jamar Chase that didn't even go as high as what we're talking about Carnell Tate. And as good as Carnell Tate is, I think there's just been better prospects that have gone higher than what I was anticipating. But yeah, we love Carnell Tate because of his contested catch rate, because of his deep
Route running.
I mean, he is a deep threat because of
Yeah.
his ball skills and because he can jump up and get it in coverage, not necessarily because he's a guy that's going to burn guys deep. But yeah, had he run like in the 4.4s or 4.3s, I think that would have cemented him as probably going top five in the draft. I think he's still a top 10 pick, top 12-ish pick, but yeah, there's receivers that don't run as fast. And I mean, 4.53, I think, is what they got him at, or
That's
4.52.
fast, dude. That's
It's
stupid
it's good
fast.
enough that like he's not gonna have like any kind of colossal tank
No,
in this, but
no.
there's someone else that had a incredible combine along the lines of like Sonny Styles, and
His brother?
that's well,
His brother
his
also
brother
ran
ran
the
pretty fast,
fastest 4.26. I'm sorry. That's
pretty
stupid
fast,
fast.
but I was gonna say Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, Kenyon
This is a
Sadiq is
guy
also a
that I
freak.
didn't have go in the first round that I thought was mostly just gonna be a
See, they listen to Ben Bowden over here. That's what they do.
yeah. So Kenyon actually ran, I think, the fastest 40 for a tight end
He did.
ever. Let me see if I can get some.
He was a 4.4
So he
flat.
measured in at 6'3", 241, and then came in and ran a 4.39.
Yeah, four three
Also
nine.
had an
Yeah,
11-foot 1-inch broad jump and a 43.5-inch vertical jump, and then put up 26 reps on the bench press. So I thought this was a guy that, was mostly just a physical specimen and maybe didn't necessarily have the consistent production to be a first round pick.
yeah.
But when you're a physical specimen like that, and you already were getting first round discussion, I think I'm gonna have to find a way to fit him in my first round on the next mock draft, Ben, because there's no way that this guy's gonna slip. Like there's receivers that it was just that we were putting in. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Cleveland taking David Boston, and maybe it won't be them because we got Fannin at tight end, but I think one of these other teams is going to be like, you know what? Instead of taking, like a fringe first rounder here at receiver, what if we went with, obvious tight end one right here with
Just
Sadiq?
don't ruin him like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, like get him involved in the offense, get him involved at the end zone. Like that's got to be something there. But yeah, they graded him. Uh, I love looking at the grades that the combine gives out. They gave him 6.42. He'll become a good starter within 2 years, is what that means. I'll go ahead and give you like the top grades from all the participants actually. Arvell Reese got the highest grade at 704. This takes into account everything that they do, not just like running and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
but 704, that puts you at uh, anything above 7 is Pro Bowl talent. Then once you get up to 7.3s to 7.5, you're a perennial all pro. When you get to 8.0, they consider you a perfect prospect. Most of these guys are falling in the sixes. The high sixes is year one starter. The mid sixes is boomer bust potential. Then you get to the lower sixes, and it's like could be a starter in a few years. Eventually, could have starter upside. Uh, long term backup. And then you get to like the six even. It's like traits or talent to above average backup. So that kind of gives you guys the gist of how the NFL grades these guys. Arvell Reese got the highest in this combine at 704.
Mm.
After him, you got, let me scroll back. After him, you got Mansour Delane, corner from LSU at 6.8. David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech at 6.78. Carnell Tate, 6.75. That's your fourth highest prospect. Then Fernando Mendoza got his 6.73. Jeremiah Love, 6.71. Makai Lemon, 6.7. All right, this is a good player to discuss right now, too. Ruben Bain, he graded at 6.7. And if there's
Mm.
anyone that could have maybe gotten hurt by the combine, I think Ruben Bain stood to lose maybe a few picks. The arm measurements came in less than desired. I
Very
think they were,
short.
yeah. And that's also coming after the fact that Will Campbell measured in with short arms and still was picked fourth overall. But he became a liability, especially in the postseason, was allowing a lot of pressure to get by and wasn't good for Drake
Yeah.
May. And I think that's going to make some teams maybe overthink too much because Ruben Bain's one of those guys that, uh, I mean, he had some good production in college, but he also was like super athletic freak. And that's why he's coming in at one of the highest graded players in this class still. I mean, weighing 6'2", 263. The arms are just under 31 inches though. So that's why he's coming in here with maybe some picks to lose. I had him going, what was it? I had him going seven. No, I had him going ninth, I think, to Kansas City. We both had him top 10. I think you had him going fourth
Yeah.
to Tennessee. Does this new information change anything for you? You think you'll be dropping him down? You
Mm,
think that you'll be holding
I
him to
just I
fourth?
gotta look at it. I just kind of look at everything and see how I feel. I just again, it's so hard in the The only one I really consider is my last one because the first two are kind of like throw around, see what it looks good. So I'll probably make more of a decision after I see like pro days and stuff and see what kind of happens with all that.
Yeah, I gotcha. And just for comparison, David Bailey, 33 and 3/4 inch arms. Hands
Oh,
also are about a whole inch bigger too. And he's about 2 inches taller. And he ran a 4.5 140.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that Ruben Bain did any of like the main drills. At least he's not showing up with any results here with that
Yeah.
on his profile. Let me double check one time here. Yeah, I don't think he did. Um, yeah, so that's one guy that could stand to fall. Uh, we were talking beforehand too about Caleb Downs, and
Yeah.
he's one of the most sure things I think in this draft,
Yeah.
which is a good thing and a bad thing. Teams know they're going to get like, a future all-pro with him, but there's also that like ceiling that you put on him with which was some of these other guys are like, could this guy maybe jump higher than him and be even like a better uh
Hmm.
pro and stuff? And so GMs can overthink that sometimes. But if you wanted to find one thing wrong with Caleb Downs' game, Ben was telling me something about his
Yeah.
knees that they discovered from x-rays and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead and take that over
Yeah.
and tell everybody.
It it basically was that supposedly he had like they all have these medical tests while they're at the combine. They came across and said he had like a partially torn meniscus that I guess wasn't really discussed. I mean, college is hard anyways because they don't actually really discuss any of it. Um, they never post any. There's no like required um, medical reports or anything. So everyone just listed as like undisclosed or whatever it might be. Um, and so he basically, I guess he had a partial torn meniscus possibly, and then they said that he basically had something like a weak ACL or a potential for ACL injuries. And so some people are like, they're claiming that that's going to drop him out of the top 10. And then, but there's also been like GMs and experts are like, okay, if you're a team down in the 20s and you have Caleb Downs just like sitting there, I think that's the steal of maybe the century. Um, I don't think much of it. I mean, we've had probably plenty of guys in the history of really in the history of any sport to have these things pop up in these pre-scans and then they're totally fine. They never have issues. So I'm not going to look into it too crazy. I think you're nuts if you just don't look at getting Caleb Downs.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there too. And I know meniscus can be scary, but if he's been playing on this his whole college career so far like this,
Exactly.
I don't know if it's too much. And again, you gotta nitpick. Like we gotta split hairs when we're getting to the top of the top prospects. If you're gonna use a fifth or sixth or seventh pick on someone like Caleb Downs, these are the kind of things that you gotta look at and weigh the benefits and the negatives. I think one other player we can talk about here that we have to, and I'm gonna call this the Anthony Richardson, someone that's like sixth round talent, but that
Yeah.
put up like round one athleticism.
Yeah.
That's Taylon Green.
Yeah, dude.
Taylon Green ran or jumped 43 and a half inches. That's the second highest vertical bend. He got on the 40-yard dash also and ran, let me tell you what he ran here. Taylon Green ran a 4:36 40-yard dash. That was almost top 10 overall in the combine also. Also had a 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. That was the fourth best period. Uh, Dude just came in and like did himself a lot of favors. For you guys that don't know, Taylon Green was the quarterback at Arkansas. Arkansas's offense was fun to watch at times. There was a lot of yards, there's a lot of production. Kudos to Taylon Green for that, and why I picked them to maybe get a couple upset wins that never happened. But overall, Arkansas was bad, but apparently that wasn't because of Taylon Green. He also came in and measured in at 6'6", 227 pounds.
Dude, I'm
Very
taking
long
tight end
frame.
right here, man. Put him at tight end, man. Burn
They're
people.
saying that 34 and 3/4 inch arms. Like if he doesn't come in with necessarily the arm talent on pro day or anything like that, he might have a second career as a
Oh,
potential ball
100%.
catcher. They gave him a prospect score of 615, which is a good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, basically everything he did elite for a quarterback, and like just one of the best athletes in this class. I think that's one of those guys where it's like if the Raiders had the seventh pick and Fernando Mendoza was gone, this is probably who they'd take.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about like the Browns. If you're late in the draft, like dude, there's so many things you could do with a guy that size. Like I know he's gonna want to play quarterback. You know, these guys they go to the NFL to play
They all
quarterback,
do.
but
They
there's gonna
all
be a
do.
point where you have to tell him like, look, dude, your longevity, maybe you're not gonna be a great quarterback, but dude, we could stick you at tight end or receiver, and you could have a great career just by the sheer size and athleticism. Look, a DB couldn't stay with him. A linebacker for sure couldn't stay with him. You get him to block, you got yourself a great tight end.
Yeah, I think so. His teammate, Mike Washington, had a really good combine too.
Also at like 230 too.
Yeah, so Mike Washington, running back for Arkansas, came in and measured 6'1", 223 pounds. Uh, he came in and for running backs got the second highest vertical jump at 39 inches. He got the second farthest broad jump at 10 foot 8 inches. He got the fastest 40 time at 4.33, just ahead of Jeremiah Love, who was second at 4.36. Uh, Let me see if he did anything else that was like absolutely freakish. Oh, and then on the note of running back too, I think that Emmett Johnson, who you had in the first round, left a little bit to be desired too. I don't know if you saw some of the
I did a little bit, yeah.
numbers that he had put up, but out of the running back group, ran the slowest 40 at 4.56. Again, it's not bad, but if you're looking to get into the first round with not too many running backs, you got to do something to flash. Also put up the lowest reps on bench at 16 reps there. Uh, the broad jump, he was near the bottom in the bottom three at 10 feet. So that was a guy where it's like he might have had like first, second round potential because of the production that he had, but didn't necessarily have the great athletic scores here. But yeah, Mike Washington did himself some favors. Jeremiah Love also had a really good combine, like we said with that 40 time, probably staying in the first round. We'll just see
Yeah.
how far up he goes. But I didn't have a whole lot to say out about the combine. Uh, there was some other good NFL news though, and the Browns snagged themselves maybe a
Yeah.
right
A
tackle
good
or a
a
right
good
guard.
tackle.
Yeah, yeah, from Texans. We'll go ahead and get that information here to talk about that. But yeah, made it a point to extend him too. They got him going, I think, 3 years, $63 million on the extension. Uh, Let me find it real quick. Yeah, Titus Howard. They got 3 years, 63. They traded him for just a fifth round pick. Much needed offensive line help for this unit that, like we've been saying, everybody's a free agent. And if you want to know how good of a player we just got in Cleveland for only a fifth round pick, Ben, this is from Pro Football Focus among NFL tackles with 1,000 snaps taken last year. He was tied first in sacks, he allowed zero. He was fourth in
Wild.
pressures allowed with just 26. He was tied for first in QB hits allowed with just one, and tied for sixth in the pass blocking grades, 76.7. So they just found themselves a stud. Glad we got this guy on the team. Uh, yeah, this is somebody that we definitely need in Cleveland. I'm glad they got him.
Yeah. It's a good move. Good move early and gives you some options for the draft for sure.
And it's also looking like Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa
Yeah,
might
I
be
saw
hitting
that.
free agency
Yeah.
also. I
They
think the
just
Dolphins are
announced
going to
that
wait for
they
June
just
for the cap hit
yeah.
to be smaller. And
Murray's getting
if they can't,
released, I think first day of free agency is what's been
yeah, if
said.
they can't find a trade partner, they're going to go ahead and cut him. So I don't think that changes who the Dolphins are going to take in
No.
our draft, but just something worth noting that there's two quarterbacks there that I can't believe they made the money they did. Tua got a 4 year, $212 million deal at the time from Miami. And it's like it was the highest annual per year, I believe, at the time. And it's like,
Yeah.
why did you do that? There's
And
absolutely nobody.
Kirk Cousins made almost $500 million in football.
It's just when you see teams do that, it's like, why did you go and do that? Like Tua Tagovailoa, not a top 15 quarterback, and nobody is coming to give him $60 million to take him off your roster. So why did you
Exactly.
feel the need that you had to pay him that much? Just because he was the next free agent quarterback that was coming up, you had to pay him that much? It's just like you don't need
Yeah.
to do that. Teams just they did it. Kyler did it too with Arizona, and Cleveland did it with Deshaun, and the Jags did it with Lawrence. It's like nobody's coming to take these quarterbacks from you and give them this money. Like you guys are the only
Yeah.
ones that are doing this, and you're putting yourself in these bad spots. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the only other NFL news we had to discuss.
Yeah.
Like we said, insane combine performances. Some guys left a little bit to be desired. We'll be seeing how that changes things for our next mock. Maybe once some of this more free agency news comes out. And then, of course, we'll do our 3.0 week before the draft. But we also got the World Baseball Classic starting up tomorrow, Ben. I'll
Hmm.
go ahead and use that to be our transition piece in our next segment. But the biggest noise around the World Baseball Classic right now, at least for as it pertains to Team USA, is that Tarek Skubal is going to make one start for 55 pitches against Great Britain, a team that we could probably beat the piss out of with just a bunch of AAA players.
Yeah.
And this is all that he's doing here. And there's a lot of conflicting opinions on whether this is,
Yeah.
a big deal or a small deal. Some people are saying that he just wants to do the bare minimum so he can get this added to his trophy case. There's some people that are saying that
Mm.
if you're not gonna play for the whole duration, get off and let somebody else come on that's gonna actually
Yeah.
be a willing participant. We know Scubal's entering a contract year. He's gonna be a free agent, and he probably doesn't want to uh, get himself an injury that's going to cost him a lot of money. Of course, we've seen Edwin Diaz suffer like just a nasty injury in this thing, and we've seen some guys not get cleared to play because the insurance wouldn't cover
Hmm.
their injury that the World Baseball
Yeah.
Classic provides them. But uh, I think I kind of lean more towards get Scooble off the roster if that's all he's going to do. We
I
don't need
agree.
him to pitch against
Yeah.
Great Britain. I'd much rather have somebody that wants to be a part of the team on the long haul. But yeah, I'll just throw that over to you and see if you think this is, anything that's big or if it's
I
a
mean,
nothing burger.
it's big. I mean, I just would say like just don't show up then. That's how I view it, to be honest with you. But other than that, we'll start our list. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Won't do too much explaining, but pretty straightforward and go for there.
Yeah. So trying to come up with a top 10 is hard because there's probably about 20 guys that make a pretty solidified top 20 list.
Hmm.
But then there's also like those five or six guys that you can maybe stick in the top 10 based on what argument you wanted to make.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that right now for 2026. I do not have Ronald Acuna, Yordan Alvarez, Corey Seager, or Corbin Carroll going into this, unfortunately, and that's all just because of availability and health. Uh, we haven't seen Ronald Acuna have like a full season for a while. We haven't seen Yordan have that full season in a while. Corey Seager's basically just been playing 110 to 120 games. Corbin Carroll, we don't. I mean, he's going to miss sometime like the first month, I think, to this season. These are all guys that like are top 10 talents, obviously. When they're on the field, they're absolutely
Mhm.
crushing it. But for a top 10, splitting hairs kind of situation, I can't find the room to put these guys in.
Mhm.
So that's four guys that I don't have here. I think another guy you can make the argument for that I don't have here is Nick Kurtz. Once he got
Mhm.
called up a month into the season, he basically was the best hitter in baseball behind Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. I think that's really hard precedent to set as a rookie. And
Mhm.
even if he doesn't match, like if he comes even a little below what he did, that still could be a top 10 season. I just think it's a lot of pressure. I want to see him do it again. Also, don't have Bryce Harper here. And that was a hard one for me to let off too. But you just look through the numbers, and this is just a guy that, while he is still like one of the top 20, 25 players in baseball for sure, we just haven't been seeing him put up that Bryce Harper production that we're used to seeing
Yeah.
him put up. And I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the numbers that he's been putting up lately that are still good, but it's just not what we've been expecting to see. Like we haven't seen him hit over 30 home runs in a season since 2021. We haven't seen him drive in over 90 runs since the 2019 season.
Yeah.
90 RBIs. He hasn't done it since 2019 when he had 114 driven in. Uh, we haven't seen him just be the guy that he typically is. And some of that has been because of health, and some of that's been because he's had I think it was very notable last year. He had the fewest hittable pitches in his zone last year. Pitchers were really trying to pitch around him and make it difficult for him. And
Hmm.
to his credit, came out, hit 261 with 27 home runs, put up a 3 WAR season. But I just don't think that this is the same Bryce Harper that we grew up watching. Still a really good player, still someone that you'd take on your team to play first base. But those are just a few guys that I wanted to put a caveat on for why they didn't make my top 10. I don't know if you have anybody like that on your end that you wanted to throw in as an
I
honorable
mean,
mention or just missing the cut.
yeah, I mean, similar to what you said. I mean, I don't have Ellie De La Cruz. I think he could, if he has a good year, be in that case. And then obviously the guys you said for sure. Um, so yeah, that's what I would say. Um, yeah. So I think for me, yeah, those are kind of my guys. So you want to start the list at number 10?
I will start the list at number 10, yeah. And this is probably going to be a name that people are going to like scratch their head at and be like, him? Are you kidding me? But I'm going to convince you guys why he should be on this list. And that's Brent Rooker, DH slash outfielder from the Oakland A's, or formerly Oakland A's. But let me tell you what Brent Rooker's been doing, Ben,
Yeah.
these last several seasons. One thing that I really like to look for with some of these guys is just the year over year production, not just how you did in 2025, but how you've been trending, what you've been doing the last several years. And Brent Rooker's been a guy that in 2024 and 2025, so the last 2 years combined, he's hit the ninth most home runs. He's driven in the 11th most runs. He has the 10th best OPS. He has the eighth best WRC plus.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one more here that I wanted to get in here. But while I'm looking for it, just all that to say, just a guy that's been crushing it this year, and he probably hasn't gotten oh, and then the eighth best slugging percentage at 518. So a guy that's been probably going a little under the radar because he's been with the A's and they've had like that historically awful season in 2023 that they've been coming back from. But in 2026, with him and guys like Tyler Soderstrom and Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson and Lawrence Butler and Shea Langelier, they're going to have one of the most exciting offensive lineups in baseball.
Oh, for
It's just going to
sure.
be a matter of if they can have the pitching, that if they're going to be a team that can be a serious like threat for the wild card, or dare I say even for the division with the Mariners. But yeah, I think Brent Rooker's a guy, and I mean 276 average during the last 2 seasons too. When you look at not just how he played last year, but just how he's been trending and what he's done the last 2 years. So he's a guy that's done it more than one season. The one knock that you could say is he's a DH, so he doesn't have like the defensive
Yeah.
value to be this high on this list. And I mean, we're already both going to have a DH on here, but he also pitches, so it adds even more value later in
Hmm.
the list, of course. But yeah, Rooker was just a guy that I was looking at, and I'm just seeing him with all these guys that you would expect to be obviously top 10, and I'm just like, man, I can't leave him off the list. So Brent Rooker's number
Yeah.
10, Ben.
For me, it's interesting. Could have went a couple ways. Nick Kurtz actually was really I about put him at 10. Kyle Tucker was another guy I thought I was going to put at 10. I'm just interested to see how he's going to do that lineup. Like where's he going to get the opportunities, depending on obviously what's happening. But then I kind of landed on this, and I know we've talked about he might not make it, and he's getting older, and maybe he's not necessarily still the top guy. But
Freddie?
Freddie Freeman, I mean, I look at his numbers, and yes, his WAR has gone down. In 20, so it was from 2016 to 2018, it was right around that 5 mark for WAR. Then it went down to like the low threes, and then it went back, started going back up. 2022, 2023, it was around 6.5 average. Then it's starting to go down again. Again, I mean, he's getting older. He's 34. Sorry, 36. He's going to be 37 by the end of the year, calendar year. but I look at the average. Like last year, he hit 295, on base 367, an OPS of 869. An OPS plus of 141. The last 2 years of OPS plus of 141. He's got 20, 24 homers, 90 RBIs. He still drives in runs. He still gets on base. He still does all those things. Why not put him there? Yeah, he's 36, but he's continuing to get better. It seems like as the years go on, he's kind of doing like a Joey Votto type thing where he's just going to get on base, going to do what he has to do. And so yeah, I like Freddie here at number 10.
Freddie was a guy that was hard for me to leave off, and I think it's mostly because he hasn't fallen out of the top 10. It's just more guys I think have jumped him and
Well,
earned their
yeah,
way
yeah,
into
yeah.
the 10. Because you can still count on Freddie, I think, even at the age he is, to come in and hit 290 with 20 homers, 90 RBIs, and that's still like really freaking good for
Mhm.
anybody, not just for a guy that's going to be entering his age 36 season this year. Like you said, the WAR has trended down each of the last 3 years, but that's mostly probably some defensive things I'd say because the bat's still going on, like home runs.
Yeah.
21, 29, 22, 24, RBIs, 117, 131, 80 or 89 and 90. Uh, Guy just rakes. So yeah, I'm not gonna hate
Yeah.
anyone for throwing Freddie in at 10. It's just for me, I think some guys might have more so rightfully earned their way into that top 10 than Freddie has dropped out of it, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So number nine, I'll go ahead and let you lead off number nine
Yeah.
here.
For me, this is gonna spark some controversy for some people. I legit think there's gonna be some people that don't like this. I'm trying to pull up his
Oh,
stats,
geez.
but maybe not. I just think there's some people that maybe look at last year and go, maybe he's not, maybe he's not having the same, amazing stat wise last year, but he did still had a good year, and that's gonna be Julio Rodriguez. I think Julio Rodriguez is a guy who, again, is still only 24 years old. People forget this man is 20. He's 25 now. Sorry, but this man is 25 years old still. He had the highest WAR he's had in his career. He led the majors in at bats with 652. He had over 700 plate appearances, 32 homers, 95 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, a 30-30 guy. His on base is not amazing. It's 330. Like it's not obviously top tier, but still good. 800 OPS for his career. OPS plus at about 130 for his career average. And so for me, I'm just kind of impressed just by the way this guy's been able to play. I think it's good for Seattle to have a star again, kind of like a young Ken Griffey, but from the other side. And he gives excitement for them. I'm interested to see, what he can do this year. Can he build on it? Because it feels like he's been kind of stalemating a little bit at kind of this level. But we'll wait and see. So yeah, for me, it's Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think for the more casual fan, like Julio's a name that you're gonna hear and be like, that guy's overrated, and maybe there's some truth to that. Like
Mm,
you'd like to see some more at the bat, but the reason that he's putting up career numbers in WAR, like you were saying, is because the glove has not gone away any time lately. So we'd like to see a little bit more offensive production there, but the defense there is just absolutely insane. Probably without looking at any of the metrics, probably the second best defensive center
yeah.
fielder behind Pete Crow Armstrong, and
Okay.
also does bring like an above average bat out there. So yeah, I'm not going to hate anyone for throwing Julio in their top 10 either. I think it's a good pick. I don't have him on my list, but yeah, I think that he definitely has a place to be here.
Yeah. What about you for number nine?
Number nine was a guy last year that sparked some, I think, the most discussion among us when we were discussing top 10, because at the time it was kind of like there's some other guys that maybe were a little more deserving, but I just thought the consistency that he'd been putting up was just too much to ignore. And he continues to stay in my top 10 at number nine here, and that's Ketel Marte,
Mm,
second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, you want to know a guy that I just rattled off Brent Rooker's rankings on some of the big categories the
hmm
last 2 seasons. These are from the last three from Ketel, so 23, 24, and 25. He's got the eighth best slugging percentage. He's got the ninth best OPS, so on base plus slugging. He's got the ninth best WRC plus, so weighted runs created. During that stretch too, he's also been a solid hitter, hitting 283, been the undisputed best second baseman, I think, in baseball during
Yeah.
that stretch. There's not anyone else that even like you can make an argument for. Has some solid power. Uh, Coming off of last year, he hit 28 home runs. Uh, the stolen bases, you'd probably like to see a little bit higher for a guy that's in the middle of the infield, but 4.6 WAR to go with all that too. Like the guy just has been a model of consistency. The last 3 seasons, yeah, 4.3 WAR, 6.3 WAR, 4.6 WAR. Uh, him and Corbin Carroll, I think, make a great case for being one of the best 1-2 punches in all baseball, and that's even to go with some of the guys the Dodgers have. I think they got
Hmm.
a good case with that too. It only would be guys from the Dodgers probably at this point, but yeah, I love Ketel Marte. Loved him last year in the top 10, and this year I got him over there at number 9.
Yeah, eh, number 8 for me, man. I like that, by the way, for you. I really like that selection. Number 8 for me is interesting because I've seen people at Vlad Guerrero Jr. down this low, and I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. For me though, it was kind of simple. Again, I'm going with the older guys. Man, I didn't think that I was gonna be the guy that does the older guys, but for me, the guy that makes the most sense here, and especially after the year he had last year, where he had a 30-30 year. Um, again, average is not amazing, but he's never really been an average guy. But he's from your old stomping grounds, or not your old stomping grounds, but the old ball club, the Guardians, but at the time what they know as the Indians. I'm going Francisco Lindor here at number 8. Again, he's he's still got pretty much 6 WAR for the last 3 years. He's gotten 30 home runs the last 3 years. That power just seems to be coming back. He's 30 stolen bases 2 of the last 3 years. He gets on base decently, a career 30-42. It's kind of cool now because you can now almost split Cleveland and the Mets pretty much half and half where he spent time. Would be interested to see if he makes the Hall of Fame, which one he chooses. But for me, I just it just makes sense to put him here at 8. Just the kind of player he is and leader.
All right, this might be controversial with how low I have this guy. I love Lindor, by the way. There, I'm going to get to him in my list in a couple picks here, but number 8 for me, and I'll make the case for why he's down maybe this low. Cal Raleigh, big dumper.
Yeah,
The 60 homer bat last year with the Platinum Glove defense. He obviously has a spot, I think, in the top 10, should be, for that kind of offensive and defensive
oh
output.
yeah,
But let me just go ahead and read how ridiculous the numbers were that he was putting up last year were.
stupid.
So, like his first 3 full seasons in baseball, he had 27 homers, 63 RBIs, 30 homers, 75 RBIs, 34 homers, 100 RBIs. And then last year comes out with the 60 homer, 125 RBI season where he's slugging 589, puts up the 9.1 WAR season after being 4.2, 4.3, 5.4, and then 9.1. It's just a pace that it's like, I'm not going to say that this was like an outlier year and he's going to go back to the way he used to be before, but those numbers are just hard to replicate. Like that kind of
Yeah,
power output year over year over year is something we've really only seen from Aaron Judge lately,
yeah,
Shohei Ohtani maybe too. But Fangraphs is projecting that he goes 40 homers, uh, slugs 494, puts up a 6.4 WAR instead of 9.1. Uh, I think the other thing that we'd like to see from Cal too is the higher batting average. I know that
yeah,
batting average, is an old guy stat, and he hit 247 last year, which is probably why he didn't fare like higher in some of the other total categories. But if he's been hitting around 230 for his career, so
yeah,
I think that even if we get that like normal Cal Raleigh with maybe a little more power output than what he's put up the last 3 years, we can definitely make a case for him to be top 10. I just got him at 8 for those reasons. I just don't think that we're ever going to see a season like he had last year. I think that truly was like a one and done season. And that's not like
mhm,
disrespectful. I mean, 60 homers, how often does that happen, much less for a catcher? So Cal
yeah,
Raleigh's at 8.
yeah. For me, uh, where am I at? Seven? Yeah, seven.
We're on to
For
seven
me,
now.
yeah, for me that is Cal Riley. So I'm not going to repeat too much what you said, but for me that's where Cal Riley is. Felt like he was in at least the top seven, and again, he might not be able to replicate it, but if he can still get you 45 home runs, that creates a lot of offense for a team.
Yeah, and then seven for me is Francisco Lindor. So I won't say
Yeah,
a whole lot about him either. Like you basically already said everything. The guy's a walking 30-30 season, 30 homers, 30 stolen bases.
yet the
The
Guardians let
Mets
him walk.
basically, yeah. Right now, we could be paying Francisco Lindor's salary. We could be paying Shane Bieber's salary, and we
That's
still wouldn't
wild.
crack the top 20 in MLB in payroll.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's stupid. That's dumb. I hate how, I mean, I'm not going to turn it into a rant about Cleveland and spending, but man, Francisco Lindor, yeah, that's my seventh best player, your eighth best player. One of the best shortstops in the game that we got. The Mets just seem to go as he goes. Like when we look
Yeah.
at the Mets winning streaks, when they're hot, it's usually when Lindor is doing the best at the top of the lineup, and when they're cold, it's usually they seem to go as he goes. So I think he's really valuable as far as some of the guys on this list to their team. So Lindor's at seven. I'll just go ahead and move on to six then,
Yep.
since we basically said everything we needed to about Riley and Lindor. This is finally a season that I don't think he's going to be in those most underrated players
Mhm.
discussions list. That's Jose Ramirez. Like it seems
Yeah.
like for the last decade we've been talking about Jose Ramirez as one of the most underrated players in baseball. And it's like you say that enough, it's like he can't be underrated anymore. But he's just been a model of consistency in this league as time has
Hmm.
gone on, Ben. I think when you look at Jose Ramirez, things that you can expect are a guy that's going to come out and hit 280, a guy that's going to be pushing 30-30 for the year, about 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, a guy that's going to be coming out with, all the extra base hits, going to push for about 90 runs driven in. Just coming off the season last year, you hit 30 homers, scored 103 runs, drove in 85, put up a 6.3 WAR season, which followed a 6.5, 4.6, 6.0, 6.4. Plays a great glove at third base. I think this finally has to be the year that you can't put Jose Ramirez on any of those underrated player lists anymore. We just know that he's
Hmm. Yeah.
one of those guys in this league. Entering 33 years old for
Yeah.
this year, and he's got a nice extension in Cleveland that he signed too. So yeah, Jose Ramirez at
I
number six.
Interesting to me because I definitely don't have him. I have him up higher actually. Six for me was a guy again I've been talking about. I still think I might have him too low, and I'm probably gonna get ridiculed for this. But Vlad Guerrero Jr. for me is at six. Um, I think the number like the numbers he's been putting up, right? He had 48 home runs, 32, 26, 30, 23. I think the reason he's not higher is because I feel like the RBIs and the home runs were down. I mean, he played 156 games. He had same amount of plate appearances he's had the last 4 years. Um, yeah, and like even the batting average has been the highest it's been since his really good year in 2021. Um, but yeah, just I feel like he's not quite where maybe you feel like you want a little bit more out of him, for sure for the amount of money you're paying for him.
Vlad is the third highest paid player in baseball, and so just continuing on the discussion, he's number six on my list, or number five on my list, excuse me. So right above Jose. Uh, I love Vlad.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years, he's got the third best batting average at 308. But like you said, I think that some of the power numbers from Vlad have been down from that 2021 season where he hit 48 home runs and drove in 111. Like last year, he only hit 23 homers, drove in 84 runs. The year before that, he hit 30 homers, drove in 103. The year before that, hit 26 homers, drove in 94. So it's kind of like that Freddie Freeman territory where 20 homers and 90 RBIs is probably about what we can expect from Vlad at this point. But you look at the hard hit metrics, man, this guy just mashes balls.
Yeah.
This guy just mashes the ball. And after the postseason that he put up last year, I think we can both confidently say that uh, he's right up there with those guys that are clutch that you want
Hmm.
showing up in the big moments. Like we've said that about Aaron Judge, where like as great of a regular season performer as he is, like when you got bases loaded in the ninth and you need a home run, is he the guy that you're going to want to come up in that situation because he's not been the greatest playoff performer.
Yeah.
Vlad Guerrero, though, is that man. There's not too many guys that I would want coming up in a spot like that over Vlad. Uh, so mostly for those things, like I think the hitting metrics are right along the lines of Jose, but what pushed Vlad ahead of Jose, I guess, for me on my list, and that's not to say that Jose isn't a good playoff performer himself, but the whole postseason last year and the World Series, Vlad just had so many moments that just etch him in my mind as one of the most clutch guys in this league. So would love to see the power go up since he is the third highest paid player in the league, but still, that's one of the. I mean, he's top five on my list, so it's one of the guys
Yeah.
that I just love to watch. So Vlad
Yeah.
number five, Vlad number six for you.
Yep. And for me, number five, and I won't say much about it, is Jose Ramirez, one of the best baseball players in the game right now. Where he can hit, run, play defense. Yeah, I think he's just a guy who's going to be a long-lasting Cleveland legend for sure.
Yeah. All right, now we're getting into top four territory, so I think we're gonna have the same guys at this point. I'm just curious what order we got them in. So number four
Mhm.
for me, I got Bobby Witt Jr.,
Hmm.
a guy that can do it all, right? A guy that can
Hmm.
hit for average, can hit for power. He's got one of the best gloves at shortstop. Uh, he's got the second highest WAR in the league from 2024 to 2025. So just going to show the offensive and defensive capabilities of this guy. Uh, Last year was a little bit of a down year by his standards, I'd say, especially after the season that he put up in 2024. That was just absolutely insane, where he had 10 and a half WAR. But he still came out last year and put up eight.
Yeah.
He still came out and hit 295 average, still slugged 501, still came out and had 23 home runs and drove in 88. The season you had before where he hit 32 homers, drove in 109 RBIs, it's like, yeah, it's not those numbers, but still came out and had an insane year. Uh, this year, I mean, Bobby's projected
Hmm.
on Fangraphs to continue to basically, excuse me, be himself. Come out and hit 29 home runs, bat 288, come out and slug over 500, come out and put up a 6.7 WAR season. This guy's just 25 years old, Ben.
A lot of
It's just
baseball left.
crazy. Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
baseball left.
Excuse me.
And no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna excuse me. I was gonna say he's got one of the nice team-friendly deals with the Royals too, where gee whiz, dude. I'm
He's
okay.
dying. He's dying.
Yeah, just a few years ago when he signed that 11-year, $288 million deal with Kansas City through 2034, that's looking like one of the best contracts in baseball right now. So love that for Kansas City. Love that they got a superstar they're going to be watching the next decade, and love that we also can watch Bobby Witt Jr. play baseball.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, he is my number four spot. Yeah, Bywood Jr., just a guy who is consistent. He's a guy who, as long as he's healthy, he's consistent, right? He's great at, um, running the base paths. He's great at trying to play really good defense. He's a great job of hitting, right? So I think you add that five tool player, and he's the guy that's perfect there for that. So that's who I got at number four. Number three for me, this is where it gets just tricky, but I think we're gonna have the same. But I'm gonna go Juan Soto here at number three. And dude, Juan Soto to me, um, he's I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. I mean, this dude is consistently almost get over. I mean, let's put it this way: during the shortened COVID season, he almost had a 500 on base percentage. In 2021, he had almost a 470 on base percentage. Last year, he led the league with a 396 on base percentage. Like he gets on base. He also had 38 stolen bases last year, 40 home runs. He's had 100 RBIs in three straight seasons. He's consistently getting on base, scoring runs, and all those things in between. Um, yeah, I like the way he's been playing, and I think he's if you're going to build a team, you can build around him.
Yeah, I think some people are going to be mad that we both got Juan Soto at three and Bobby Witt at four because they're going to point out the defensive
Yeah.
metrics there. And that's absolutely true. Juan Soto can't play half as good a defense as Bobby Witt can at short, and he's also just in that. And I think he's gonna be playing left field. But Juan Soto is one of my favorite players, Ben.
Hmm.
Uh, just speaking of the season you had last year, would you believe that he was second in stolen bases?
I can imagine. Yeah,
He was second in the league with 38 stolen bases, and the most he ever had previously in a season was 12.
that's wild.
That could be something interesting that he's added to his game. And we'll, of course, see if that continues to be the case. But in New York, with both the Yankees in 2024 and the Mets in 2025, looks like he's like built for this level of pressure and play. I mean, he's hit 41 homers and 43 homers last 2 years. Those
Yeah,
are the most he's had in his career for either season. Drove in 109 with the Yanks, drove in 105 with the Mets. That's two of his best 3 seasons, or two of his best 4 seasons as far as runs
yeah,
driven in. Of course, he had the really cold April, which is why he probably only hit
yeah,
263, but at the plate, but came out and slugged 525, came out with almost a 6 WAR season at 5.8. This guy's just a masher. I think he's always going to be a guy that you can count on to hit, the 280s, 290s, hit about 30 to 40 bombs, drive over 100 runs in. The Mets got themselves a guy, and I mean, when you're paying him over $700 million, you better have a guy. So,
hmm,
yeah, I
yeah,
love Juan Soto. I just wanted to point that out. The stolen bases could be another like key aspect in his game that just makes him like, solidified as one of the top 5 players in this game.
yeah. Agreed with you all the way. And I'll let you do number two. I think we can do number two. You can knock out number two and number one, and then I'll knock out my number two and number one,
All right.
and go from there.
Number two, uh, depending on if he's a pitcher or not, we don't know how much he's going to pitch. I know he came out and pitched some last year. Uh, if he's like a full-time starter in the Dodgers organization, I think he's number one. But I don't know if we can
Mhm.
expect that kind of a production from him just pitching. And he also, I mean, that one game where he hit all the home runs and threw 6 shutty, I mean, he's still got that potential in him. He's got some nasty stuff, but I don't know if we're going to see that time and time on the mound. And even if it's still like 4 ERA pitching, you could make the case that Shohei should be number one, but I'm going to keep Judge at one. I'm going to put Shohei at two because let me tell you some stats about Aaron Judge that I've come across recently that have just blown my mind. I want to make sure I get these read off correctly. Barry Bonds, Ben, the most feared hitter in our lifetimes,
Yep.
had an insane stretch during the 2001 to 2004 seasons where basically he just was drawing intentional walks half of his at bats, which is
Yeah.
why his on base percentage was almost 700. Uh, but during that stretch, of course, he had the record-breaking 73 homer season in 2001, hit 209 home runs total during that 4 year stretch.
Yeah.
But Aaron Judge has somehow topped that these
That's
last four
wild.
years that he's had, which includes his 62 homer season, of course. But over the course of the last 4 years, which goes back to that 62 homer season, come on, why won't I add it up? I'm gonna have to do some my own math here because I didn't jot these down. But he's topped it with 210 homers. So he didn't like shatter it, but it's just if I told you, would you believe that the last 4 years
No,
Aaron Judge has hit more home runs than Barry Bonds did in that 4 year
no.
stretch? I wouldn't have believed you. Aaron Judge, yeah, like we said, the playoffs like got some still stuff there to be desired, but the numbers are just incredible, man. Like we can look at all the metrics. Aaron Judge puts up WRC plus over 200, which league average is 100. He's doing like the basically the same as two guys in one spot as far as the production goes. And that's not to say that Shohei isn't, an accomplished hitter at the plate himself either. But I mean, Shohei Ohtani, as good of a hitter as he is, of course, he had that season where he had 50, 50 not too long ago. And then last year had 55 homers himself, so he topped that. this is a guy, yeah, that's hit 54 home runs,
Yeah.
55 home runs this
Yeah. Yeah.
past
Yeah.
season, 44 the year before. I mean, if he has another 50 homer season this year, he's going to have more than Barry Bonds in that 4 year stretch too. Very
It
possible.
it is wild. I didn't know what to do. This is like 1A and 1B, but for me, I'm going to put Aaron Judge second. Everything you said, I agree with. I think the defense, maybe, yeah, he still has an arm, but I think there's moments still where in the defense, I'm like, how much longer can he play at, 6'8", whatever he is out there in left or right field. Um, but yeah, he's an amazing player, and I think he truly has what it takes to be the best. But man, I'm going even if he's only pitching every few games, I'm going with this two-way player, and to me, that's what makes Shohei Ohtani just so unique. I know it's cliche, but he truly is the best player, not only in Major League Baseball, but maybe all over the world and in different aspects as we look at it over generations. He's an amazing athlete. So for me, that was an easy one. Shohei Ohtani, number one for me, and those are our list.
Yeah, one other thing I want to read here, just some of these WAR totals. So Judge the last 4 years has put up 11-1, 4-8, 11-3, 10-1. Uh, the WRC plus, like I said, he's had 204 last year. League average is 100. 220, 173,
Yeah.
206. Like just sheer dominance there. And I'm going to go ahead and read Shohei's too, because I mean, they're just as good right up there with him. But yeah, Shohei Ohtani WAR the last 4 years has been 7.5, 8.9, 6.6, 3.6. WRC plus 172, 180, 180, 142.
Hmm.
So, I mean, both of them are incredible, but Aaron Judge's offensive production just is incredible. Like it's something that we're not going to see again for a while. Like I said, Shohei, if he hits like close to 50 homers this season, he's going to have like a 4 year stretch where he tops Barry Bonds' home run total too. But yeah, like you said, obviously the two best in the league. You can rank them based on what you prefer, but yeah, I think both of them are going to be heavy favorites to win MVP again this season in each league. Like, good luck trying to
Yeah.
catch any of these guys.
Agreed. 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 Yeah. Well, we had an agenda. We made it. I know next week we'll probably continue talking some baseball, I guess, too, but also our next mock draft will be coming out, I believe, the following week. I
Yeah,
think.
I think we'll go ahead
Yeah.
and take a break next week and we'll go ahead and come out
Yeah.
with
The 2.0. Yeah. Yeah. After
yeah.
that. So we'll be coming out with that. And then, so yeah. So keep your eye out for that. But yeah, anything else to add, Josh? Are you good to go to get some sleep?
Well, I don't think I'm gonna be getting like sleeping next hour, maybe a little later because I've been awake now for about a couple, almost 2 hours now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm ready to like rest up though for sure over these
Yeah.
next couple days off of
Sport
work.
sports is a great time to watch and relax, right? And maybe watch some
Hmm.
curling, maybe some curling. But anyways, down in the comments below, who are your top five? Maybe don't do top 10 if you want to do top 10, but who give us your top five? Were we right? Did we have guys too high? Did we have guys too low? I know I like talking with people about it as well. So, um, again, once again, thank you so much for listening and for watching. If you're on YouTube, click that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I almost messed that up today. Make sure you hit that. Allow us to know that you're watching and listening. And if you love listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, then make sure you share it with your friends and family. Yeah. Enjoy this weather. Enjoy March. Keep marching along. Um, yeah. I'm gonna leave that joke there. I don't think it didn't hit Josh. But anyways, I hope anyways you guys have a great weekend. And until next time, we'll see ya.